face. Good morning, good morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brain, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7 a.m. Welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. We're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, good morning Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to you, Julian.
Good morning, Rhea. You know, it's a sad start, Rhea.
I am really sorry,
Yeah,
but I'll leave you to see.
It's a really, really sad start, and you know, I want to send out condolences to the entire family of, you know, Judith Small, Kashika's mom,
Richardson.
You know,
I think
Judith
there's
Small
a Richardson at the end, yeah.
And Kashika and the entire family out there, where we worship together here at Scarborough Methodist. You know, and to get this kind of news, it's never something that you want to welcome.
No.
And I really want to say on behalf of my family, you know, we'd certainly remember you in prayer. And I know all too well, this could never be an easy time at all.
I would imagine, and I want to take the opportunity as well to extend condolences on behalf of my entire family, you know, the Richardsons of Patience Hill, my parents and family on the passing of Judith Small Richardson. I think the news hit the team this morning when we got here and we all found out about Judith's passing. And I want to say, there's a part of me that feels as though our healthcare system at the time failed her. Our healthcare system at the time failed her. And I'm not going to go much into details this morning, but I believe that the healthcare system failed her. I know what I've been through, and I know the healthcare that I got, and I'm not making any excuses for what we can get. As small as our island is, a lot better can be done. It seems as though it's only who you know or who knows you, and then then the red carpet is able to be rolled out for you, and that shouldn't be. Every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, every citizen of Tobago deserves excellent health care. Yes, our island is small, Julian, but we deserve it, we demand it, we expect it, I believe, and I'll just leave it there. All right, so I don't even know how to say on to brighter days, but because this, but we're going to get there.
Really,
I know, Julian.
Really a challenging one.
Yes.
I suppose in several ways. But on the lineup, on our rundown this morning for the program, we will be having conversations with Assemblyman Trevor James, Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Some variation there in what we are accustomed to, notwithstanding the fact that over the years there have been varying names. Some people just call the division Works. So the Secretary with responsibility will be on this morning, Assemblyman Trevor James, and we'll be speaking to some of those announcements that were made in relation to coming out of the retreat, as well as some general projections, as that's definitely one of the major divisions within our governmental structure here in the Tobago space. Who else do we have on the lineup this morning, Rhea?
So we will also be chatting with Javon Carrington, fitness specialist and owner of Dos Fit. I think it's Dos Fit.
Yes.
Dos, yes, for the Dos Santos, yes. So it's Dos Fit Studios, all right, and he'll be chatting with us on keeping fit with Dos Fit.
And in the final segment this morning, we chat with Dr. Winford James, political analyst, and he too will also be speaking to his projections and his expectations, you know, given his following the field and tracking the research and so on when it comes to the politics of Trinidad and Tobago, the region and the world at large. So we look forward to that conversation with Dr. Winford James.
Okay, and just some quick birthday. I don't know if you got any birthday announcements. I know you've been thrown off a little bit here, Julian, and I know you're trying to bounce back. But, you know, in the midst of life, we expect death. Sometimes it's sudden, sometimes we see it coming, but it doesn't take away the pain regardless. So a quick birthday shout out going out this morning to Judy Williams of Patience Hill. Now, if this is my Judy that we're talking about, this, I tell you, I don't even know how to say it. No, I'm going to leave that. She cooks, and on a Thursday, she usually does this saltfish and dumpling. And I tell you, it's been a hit for the last few years since I was working at Signal Hill. I kid you not, Julian, it's a must-have, a must-taste, a must-see, a must-everything. So, Judy, happy birthday going out to you this morning. Lots of love going out to you from the Tobago Updates family.
Yes, and this morning we also want to give shout-outs. We're seeing here, we got on the live, good morning coming in from New York, Elizabeth James, good morning to you. We also have Evelyn Chong, Russell Morrison joining us on the live, Chanel Fort, Natalie Prince, Gwendolyn Murray joining us on the live this morning, Erla Hazel, Crystal, Blessed O'Connor, as well as QQ Melville, all of you joining us on the live this morning. We want to say thank you so much for the continued love and support, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards to our top story.
Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
and remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides, marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the Roxborough Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window at the
treasures like the Golden Waterfall
to rise in Tobago.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Need whenever you need it, anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
morning, morning. Good morning again, viewers, and welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Two quick birthday greetings going out this morning to Roy Bishop and Kelly Fornelia from the Tobago Updates family. We trust that you have a really great day and that you enjoy to the max. God's blessings upon you. Viewers, at this time we are chatting with Assemblyman Trevor James, the Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. As we focus at this time on the THA retreat, the outlook. Good morning and welcome to you, Assemblyman James.
Thank you, Ria. I'm happy to be here.
It's good to have you on the program. I believe the last time that you were on with us, you were still a candidate.
I don't remember. That seems...
It seems so long ago.
Seems so long ago, Ria.
So how has it been? You're in office. It's been just a few weeks or so. How has it been thus far?
Well, you know, it's getting to know the division, and let me say firstly, pleasant good morning to every employee of the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. This realignment still gets to me.
Yes.
Good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to have been selected by the executive to attempt to turn around the division, and I think I'm up for the task, and I'm ready to go.
I believe you are.
Well, thanks for the confidence.
Okay. All right, let's jump right in at this time. You all are coming out, the team is coming out of a 5-day retreat just about a week or so ago. And the Chief Secretary, Augustine, made several pronouncements, several plans for several projects. Let's start with what you deem to be key and the priority for your division.
Well, our strategic goal is to get the division functioning efficiently again, to find a way to have the division execute some of these projects that have been tendered out, get the division working to reduce the expenditure as best as we can, and to be able to assist the communities and individuals across Tobago who have been suffering for years for basic infrastructure, whether it be from the main roads now that we have, to access roads, to access to people's properties, to infrastructure, walls and drains and so on, to support the construction effort as we build on the topography that we have. Across Tobago, people have been neglected in terms of the infrastructure they have, and it's our goal, our hope, that we can correct that expeditiously.
Okay, the Chief Secretary also made mention of, let me see if I can pull it here. He also made mention of an office for the political leader. Am I correct?
An office for the political leader.
Sorry, a Tobago office to be established in Trinidad with responsibility for attracting and engaging. I want to, can we talk a little bit about that?
Well, I will try, but those questions are best posed to the Chief Secretary. But you know, Ria, the PDP wants desperately to represent the people of Tobago. And over the years, the people of Tobago have been clamoring for a different arrangement between the two islands. And as the Chief Sec and the Deputy Chief Sec build out the role for the Deputy Chief Sec, more details will come from Mr. Augustine. We are attempting to do something different. We are attempting to have the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary champion this thing for us, both in Tobago, in Trinidad, and abroad.
Yes.
And that is what this is about, and we are asking the people of Tobago to support us in this, because we see this as the most important achievement, if we can get it, that we will ever achieve. And there is no better person at this time to do that than Mr. Duke himself.
All right. For the first time, an office of the Deputy Chief Secretary will be built out and opened. Additionally, for the first time, the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary will be a stand-alone division. As it pertains to the, and all of these plans are to happen within the first quarter.
Yes.
The Chief Secretary indicated here.
Yes.
Is this overthinking? Is this a little bit too presumptuous? I mean, in terms of, can this happen?
We are the transformers, Ria. We make a plan, we 150% to do it. Obviously, we can't have the office of the Deputy Chief in limbo for too long.
Right.
This is a new way of doing this business, and therefore, we, the Chief Secretary, the Deputy Chief Secretary, are going to do all in their power to ensure that when we set goals, we don't disappoint the people, and that can be done. That can be done quickly, in my opinion.
One of the things I think persons were saying that they wanted to hear more of was a traffic plan. I know when you were campaigning, this was one of the items top at the top of the list, having a traffic plan for Scarborough. One would have thought that this might have been on the first quarter, one of the items on, to be rolled out for the first quarter.
Well, it is though. It is part of the whole development thrust for Scarborough. However, I've always said that we have to design this thing properly. We have to consult with the people before we can complete the design. And in the month of February, we will start the consultations. It may be virtual, but we will definitely start the consultations for the development of the city of Scarborough. In that, there's a component, of course, for traffic management and traffic planning in Scarborough.
All right. What is
so
the update?
that is going to come. It is just a matter of time.
Okay. What is the update with regards to the quarry at Studley Park?
Actually, we are scheduled to get to the quarry this morning at 9 o'clock. Our hope and our goal is to ensure that the quarry is making money. To put it simply, over the last 4 years, what I have seen, the maximum money they've made in terms of profit is $100 and something thousand. That is completely unacceptable. And we will make the structural changes that are necessary to ensure that one of the major resources that we have in Tobago is in fact monetized and managed in a way that we can benefit from it. Presently, and over the last 20 years, we have not. It's a resource. We have not been benefiting from it. The arrangements and the management structure have failed. And under my tenureship, we can't have that happening. Under the PDP, we can't have that happening.
Can't or will not?
Will not.
Okay. All right, but
we will not have that.
I live on the east, and we often see the barge coming in. We see gravel and sand and stuff being offloaded. Is it that the quarry services only Tobago? I know at one point there were talks of servicing Trinidad as well. What is happening? I mean, as far as you know, I know it's still a bit early in your game, but whatever information you do have. No,
there are clients who buy from Trinidad who buy material from the quarry.
And not even that helps to generate.
But it's an operational thing. It's an operational thing. It's the way it is structured, it's the financial arrangements that have been made over time, and like I said, they have all failed. So it doesn't matter who you sell to now or who they have sold to in the past. The facts are that every year they have either made a loss or very, 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 very small profits.
So what would it call for?
Well, we are looking at several ways of transforming it. I'm not going to be presumptuous and speak before I speak to the management team up there. But we have ideas of how we can do it, and I'm sure that within the first quarter we would definitely restructure the management at the quarry. Okay.
All right, so thank you so much for chatting with us at this point here, Assemblyman James. Julian is coming up next to continue the discussion with Assemblyman James. So viewers, we encourage you this morning to share the live, share the live, share the live.
All Tobagonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and tetra packs in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
Patricia Nicholson-Richards to
Welcome
a top
to Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains. When
the public is making
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearside's marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the islands
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall.
rise in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:20 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. In this segment, we are chatting with Assemblyman Trevor James, and we're speaking to the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Good morning as we continue the conversation.
Good morning to you, Mr. Skeet.
All right, so we're very happy to have you on, and as you would know, the Chief Secretary, coming out of your retreat recently held, touched on a number of areas, and you know, it's automatic that a few of them end up your alley.
Yes.
So as we continue the conversation this morning, one of the things we want to speak to is the commencement of public consultations on particularly what was a mainstay during the campaign. How soon can we expect to see these getting started in terms of that urban planning redevelopment?
We're putting the planning together now, Julian, and we hope by middle February we will be starting the consultations.
All right. Is there any additional details? Persons love the idea of SMART. Show me a road Tobago. And in fact, I've seen some people start to randomly take their picture and post it on social media and put a hashtag. But I know the idea, is there a consideration to put together a system that allows for a better kind of tabulation of these challenges? And what's the projected approach? I know in the first instance we may get many responses coming in with roads and so on and challenges throughout. How are you proposing to be able to really bring some resolution in those areas?
Before we go to that, Show Me a Road Tobago was conceptualized in order to bring relief to persons who cannot afford the infrastructure cost themselves to give access to their homes. When we sat and thought about it, we wanted a solution for that given the topography that we have. Out of that, we expanded it to include community development. We'll probably link it to our trust to spend $10 million per constituency. So that's where it came from. However, the gazetted roads that we have are in a dilapidated state generally across the island. And so at the retreat, we felt that we must first start with those roads, and of course all the potholes that you see. People are now bombarding my phone with location and potholes and James, you have to fix this. So, but yeah, we've decided to start there and see how we can bring relief to pedestrians and commuters across the island. We are in fact building a system, and again by February as well that system will be up and running, and I'll come back if I'm invited to explain how it would work. But we are going to have a system where you can call in, where you can send your pictures, where we can tabulate them. We probably have an officer dedicated to that. So that is coming.
Well, we certainly look forward to that, and we'll be following up to ensure
that is
we
coming.
get that interview. The other area that the Chief would have spoken about, again, pivotal to the people of Tobago, because I like to say our tourism spaces ought to be prepared for those of us who live here to enjoy, in addition to those who visit. One that would have been singled out is the Pigeon Point area in particular, for milling and resurfacing. Is it that we're expecting that there'll be an anticipated period where we may not have access, or is it going to be done in such a manner that it's going to be late night, evenings, not to affect the usual traffic flow and access to Pigeon Point? What can persons anticipate?
Well, listen, this is 100 meters of road. I don't expect it to last more than a weekend. We are not certain if we will be milling. The engineers are going to go back there to determine whether we need to actually mill before we put on a top coat. But I don't expect it to last more than a weekend. We will decide when we have the information whether we will do half at a time and come back and do another half to, make sure the traffic flows. But those are a small inconvenience to prepare and access for what is our premier beach and our premier tourist spot in the island.
Within the island. All right. The other area looks at the Signal Hill intersection.
Yes.
The introduction of a lay-by, and naturally some of the high schools we go to, if we are at Goodwood and so based on location, we know there's that consideration. Is it going to be looked at broadly in terms of other areas eventually, and that this is just a first quarter startup?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the Secretary for Education had a long chat with me about Scarborough Sec and that wide crossing at Shore Park. So yes, we're gonna make sure that our students are safe. Those that come down from Signal Hill onto the highway is a particular challenge that the representative for Lambo Signal Hill identified, and therefore we are going to come up with a plan of how we can prepare an access and a space for those turning up Signal Hill and for the students coming down and having to cross over the street. So we are in fact going to do that. We have considered just yesterday the possibility of having a solution for the problem in terms of all of those humps that are there in front of those schools. We believe that we have put a 24-hour solution to what is a 2-hour problem. And so we're going to look at that to see whether that is in fact an efficient thing to do, and we'll come up with a decision in a short order.
All right. What's the projections with the division particularly? There would have been programs introduced recently in relation to small contractors attempting to assist with a number of the works happening throughout the Tobago space. More important at that, really an effort to move away from what might have been traditionally one main contractor benefiting from all the contracts versus smaller contractors now having that ability to help make a difference, and similarly be able to earn something. What are your thoughts in terms of treating with regards to those overall projects? And I know there was some engagement that had begun already, just coming into the election period.
Well, Julian, developing small contractors across the island has always been a PDP announcement. Those who were in office before attempted to execute something that PDP spoke to since January. So no doubt that will continue. We believe that very strongly that if we are to have economic development in Tobago, we must find a way to change the distribution, the distribution of monies across the island, and we must find a way to multiply what we spend in Tobago. I don't know, as you have said, that larger contractors have not been maximizing.
I suppose that's something you and the team will have to look at.
Some of the contracts have been concentrated among a few, and that happens over time when you're in government, but we are going to attempt to spread the benefit of the Tobago House of Assembly expenditure as far and wide across Tobago and across individuals and smaller companies as we can, as we seek to build a cadre of contractors that can perform, that we can call in a moment's notice when a real emergency hits. That for us is critical, that we can actually see contractors transition along a continuum where we can develop.
So to be able to build it out as best as possible.
That's correct.
Would you say that there is definitely room in the system? Because of course your division is one of those particularly that caters to our younger minds in terms of engineers, up and coming and so on. What kind of programs do you see potentially happening to create that opportunity? Because you have younger persons qualifying themselves and saying, but we don't have a real opportunity for any kind of exposure because it is only engaged the most experienced and the best in the Tobago space. And you have to have some kind of political affiliation to be able to benefit from that skill set. Otherwise, we have to go out of here. Or what do you say to those in that field?
You're making some kind of statements. What did you say? They have been engaging the most experienced.
Only looking at experience. And then you have some of the younger ones that say, Well, how do we gain the experience if we're not even getting the opportunity to come on, whether it be in terms of as trainees or to work along with the more experienced ones? Is that something you believe your division might be able to also give consideration to?
Absolutely, but what I want to say in regards to that is that we have to find a way for young professionals to work in the private sector. We have to find a way to ensure that our contractors are in fact hiring our professionals. We can't have contractors building bridges and roads and retaining walls and there's no engineer, no quantity surveyor, no surveyor. You know, we have to become more professional. We have to ensure that our professionals in the construction industry are in fact becoming consultants and offering their services to the THE. We just simply can't have young people working for UDCOT and NIPDEC and NIDCO and coming to Tobago and taking our monies and take it back to Trinidad, and our young professionals are here. So our young professionals have to become organized and to stop the singular focus on THA employment. Sell your services to all the contracting companies out there. Develop yourself, join with senior consultants and become consultants and work and provide services, because there are a plethora of services that we need that we will contract out.
I hear you speak and I smile, because I remember a former Minister of Works making it clear, if we have contractors that don't support the growth and development of our island and our country in terms of taking up their social responsibility, then we have a problem.
Yes, but this is not social responsibility.
If your focus is just about making money.
But this is not social responsibility, this is just business. So as we, one of the things I always say, that people build things, not companies. And so we are going to change the focus from company experience to the experience of people. So you have to staff your projects with the right people if we are going to progress. And the division of works, yes, we are doing over a structure now, and we will advertise for the professionals that we need. So get your CVs prepared and all that. That structure should be ready by the end of this month. Once the Executive Council approves it, then we'll probably advertise for those positions to be filled. And then there are several positions across the division as well that have remained vacant for a number of years. So, we want to streamline what we do and ensure that our units are being managed by the right professionals who have the right skills, and indeed younger engineers and so on will have a chance for understudy. I really don't have a challenge with that. So I'm for that, but I want to encourage people, listen, you've come back from university, look for employment in the private sector first, develop your ability to provide a service, because that is what the THA needs.
And I think quite naturally, Secretary, the expectation is high. Your division happens to be paired with the man with the plan, which is yourself, throughout the campaign.
Yes,
and then
yes.
coupled with that,
Yes.
an assistant secretary that people see as the fix-it man, Joe
Yes,
Sampson.
yes,
So quite naturally, the expectations are high. But I want to get a sense from you. I know within the first week or so, you would have been managing virtually at
Yes.
that time. And then you hit the ground running. Based on your interactions virtually and in person, as we look to wrap this interview, give us a sense of what's that feeling? What is that hope and that aspiration as you've met with staff, you've begun to interact with the team and so on, coupled with the fact that you have naturally come with ideas that you want to see roll out for the benefit of Tobago, because I know it's no secret, you are in your field, you are in your passion, this is what you do.
Yes. Yeah, well, what I've found, if we've met with some of the senior staff, just to introduce ourselves, and looking at what we have, I think we have a cadre of experienced engineers on board. So we are hopeful that we can reorganize how we function so that we can get optimum performance from a group of engineers. We are hopeful that we can begin to function like a project management team at the division. We have mechanical service that we need to streamline. Too many of our vehicles remain unrepaired and in a dilapidated state. So we have work to do. And I want to appeal to the employees of the division that at this time, at this hour, we all have to put 150% of ourselves so that we could build a better Tobago. Nobody is going to come and build it for us. No Trinidadian, no foreigner. We have to do this thing ourselves. And I am going to appeal to everybody, wherever you're working, let's give Tobago 150% and let us together build out something that we could all be proud of. And let's root out all this corruption and nepotism that has existed. And let's use the financial resources that we have to the benefit of the widest cross-section of Tobagonians. If we can do that together, Tobago wins.
Excellent. So we hear the commitment and reaffirming here for us, Assemblyman Trevor James, Secretary with Responsibility for Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Thank you very much for joining us on set this morning. And viewers, just giving you a gentle reminder, he's making it clear. We have made these commitments, and the PDP administration is certainly working in that direction to ensure that they are able to deliver. So we'll certainly hold them accountable as we go forward in terms of checking in to see the progress. And naturally, Tobago, we're expecting that you would also assist in terms of making that connection, particularly with regards to updates, because we know persons not going to hesitate. If you promise to fix a road and you don't, they're going to remind you quite yes, naturally, indeed. Just one of the areas. Yes. Folks, as we wrap this morning's this segment, we want to indicate to you, coming up in the next segment, we'll have Javon Carrington, fitness specialist and owner of Dose Fitness Studio, and that interview will be conducted by Candice Jackson. So as we prepare to go to a break, we want to remind you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards to our top
Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides Marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Francis hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window at the island,
treasures like the Golden
Waterfall
Waterfall
rise in Tobago.
John Boy, I got a call and they're asking me to talk to the nation, talk to people and tell them about getting vaccinated. Yeah. I'm not sure if I should or if it's the right thing for me to tell someone to get vaccinated.
Yeah, but you just came out from Tobago.
Yeah, and 3 of my friends passed. And that's when I realized, you know, I really need to say something.
Similarly here, I have an insulin-dependent son, and so I had to get all my kids vaccinated. I didn't have a choice.
I made the choice because of my parents. But the question is, what or who do you love more than yourself for you to make the choice to protect yourself or protect them from you?
Trouble again! Trinidad and Tobago, let's stop the spread of COVID-19. Vaccinate today.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Morning to you. I am Candice Jackson coming to you live from Dose Fit at Buku, where we are going to keep showing you how fun and how easy it is for you to stay fit and keep that New Year resolution of a good, healthy body.
So we're going 1, 2. 1, 2. Alright, get ready. Well done, team. Come on. Guys, I'm Nisa. Come on. Yeah. Let's do it. And I smile again. Keep my vibes away. Tell them I smile again. Keep the vibes away. And I smile again. Keep my vibes away. That's why I will make us. Good work, team. Good work, team. Come on. All the way up. Get to that answer. All the way up. All right, get ready. Yeah. Get to that answer, guys. Come on. Guys, come on. There we go. Come on. Yes. Remember the crimson at the top. Yes. Keep it there. Come on. Let's go. Come on. That's it. Come on. Keep it there. Come on. Be right there. Be right there. Come on. Under. Yes. Come on, guys. Be right there. Come on. Keep that back parallel with the ground. All the way through. Some stretch, guys. Come on. Keep that core nice and tight. Yes. 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 Let that core touch on the neck. Keep that core nice and tight. Clench the glutes. Come on. Yes. Home stretch. Come on. Yes. Drive it. Come on. Yes. Come on, Carla. Right there. Come on. That's it. Right there. Right there. Right there. Hold it. Hold it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Drop that bottle in the cream. Right there. Yes. Just drop that bottle in the cream. Right there. Yes. Yes. Hold it. Hold it. Hold
Stay right there on your mat. So we're just sitting upright. Sitting on your mat upright, like wide apart. Now inhale, hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release.
So of course, what you just saw there was led by Mr. Javon Dos Santos Carrington.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
who is the owner of Dos Fit? Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am, and how are you?
I'm good. How was the workout?
It was excellent. I thought it was excellent. My clients probably think otherwise, but we definitely had fun. We had fun.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Dos Fit, and what is it about?
All right. Well, Dos Fit Studio, we've been in existence for almost 8 years. Actually, April of this year will be 8 years since we've been in existence, and we consider it truly a blessing, of course, because of what we've been going through for the last 2 years, going on 3 years. We definitely want to thank God for life, perfect health and strength. We are a fitness camp. We used to be based in Mount Pleasant, but now we've found our home sweet home here in Buku, and it's definitely, again, a blessing to have our own place to call home. And we try to encompass every aspect of fitness. So it's not just the physical aspect, it's also the mental aspect, it's also the coming together of our clients at various events. Sometimes it's not even like getting all sweaty and working out and all of that. It's just meeting, probably having a meal, having a couple of drinks. The last time we got together, we were able to play cricket. Yeah. So it's all about a family vibe, a family atmosphere. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, why is it so important to be active and to just move?
I think even more so in these times with the pandemic and COVID, we know that this disease actually attacks the respiratory system first, and exercising and keeping that heart rate up and keeping active definitely helps us in warding off this COVID-19 the disease that we're all fighting. And it's just in an effort to just stay healthy. As we tell our clients, sometimes you don't have to go as fast as the person next to you, but it's just about staying active and keep moving, just moving. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
All right. And what makes your club unique here in Tobago?
I think it's the family vibe. It's always been about family. It's always been about fitness with family. And from inception till now, we have maintained that. We have tried our utmost best to maintain that. We have retained a lot of our clients. We have lost a lot too because of the pandemic and having to downsize and those, of course, the stipulations that's been set up by the government where you have to be vaccinated and that kind of stuff. So we've lost a few along the way, but they're still family. By extension, they are still family. We miss them a whole lot, but I think it's always been about the family atmosphere, the family vibe, the togetherness. It's always, there's never that awkward feeling when you step in here. There's always someone side of you, encouraging you, pushing you, challenging you to be better. So yeah.
Okay. And what do you really say has been the highlight of, being able to run this over the past few years?
The most fulfilling part for me is seeing the progress of my clients. Definitely seeing the progress of my clients. There are some persons who came here. I know there's one guy we were talking, shout out Loris real quick. We were talking a couple of weeks ago. I said, did you expect to be this fit at this age? And he was like, no, he gave up on anything along the line of fitness because he would have tried so many different times and it all amounted to failure. But this one, he's been with us for the last 4 years. And he's actually one of our team leads now. Mm-hmm. And to see where he would have started, along with some others, where they would have started, and to see where they are now, and in a position where they're actually now helping others on their fitness journey. So I think that's the most fulfilling part, not just for me, but for my clients and for anybody who's been supporting us over the last 8 years.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having us and for hosting us and for us to see a little bit of what you do. Uh-huh. And folks, that's it from me, Candace Jackson at Dos Fit Studios in Buku. Back to you in studio.
Welcome back, viewers, and Candice there certainly. And Candice, I like the fact, some of them in studio here saying they want to see Candice doing some push-ups and they want to see Candice on the ground.
Some plants.
But Candice, we just have to make decisions at times, and you made the decision to do this interview because that was your focus there to get the information in. But I know Candice won't hesitate. if there's an opportunity to get out there.
That's right. Better Candace than me.
And I also want to say shout out this morning. I saw Jillian in the mix there, in the lineup, in the fitness mode. Denisha as well in the fitness mode. And I want to commend all of them because really it takes a level of commitment. I am more your go out and run for my exercise. I don't necessarily always have the discipline of sit down and doing, exercises and so on. So I always commend those who are able to get in the mix there.
I can walk. I can do walking. Running, I'm one of those who runs and falls. So, I walk.
All right. So as we prepare to head into this next segment, let me say a good morning shout out to Dexter on the live this morning. Dexter Trim joining us, as well as Natalie Kojo Nelson joining us on the live. Good morning, and thank you for joining in. In this final segment, we are chatting with Dr. Winford James, political analyst. Good morning, Dr. James.
Mr. Skeet, good morning to you. Ria, good morning, and good morning to your viewership as well.
So, Dr. James, we're getting right into things this morning regarding the discussions. The retreat was just held by the new Tobago House of Assembly administration, led by Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. And one of the particular things, we definitely want to get your perspective on this morning is looking at what should be the rollout of a new area of governance in the Tobago space. And we saw some definitions coming up, particularly for the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary, having a more specific kind of role to play, which includes on the ground in Trinidad. What are your thoughts?
Excellent. And where else are you going to put him? He's the political leader. We have the outstanding matters vis-a-vis the autonomy issue, self-determination for Tobago, equality of status, and of course the political leader is not the chief secretary. So you had to find something worthy of his status, political status, and other matters as well. And we were told that beforehand that he would be the person that would be in Trinidad, in an office in Trinidad, rooting for the kinds of constitutional changes Tobago wants. These changes, of course, were put by one party, not the other one. Were put by the PDP. And I remember attending one of their last meetings at Rovanel Hotel, Guest House and Hotel. And Dr. Vanus James outlined what the Deputy Chief Secretary should be doing. And he even made a statement that the Deputy Chief Secretary's office, meaning to say what he is supposed to be doing there, is probably the most important business of the new assembly. Because we are talking about a kind of change that Tobago has been wanting for the longest while. Some people date it to the beginning of colonial government and so on. Some people take it back as far as 130 years ago. So Watson Duke will have the portfolio of expanding awareness in Trinidad of what Tobago wants, and of course treating with the government, meaning to say national government, personnel in Trinidad with respect to where Tobago wants to go. I understand as well that he will have an office in Tobago. I don't know that is how far advanced that idea is, but I don't know that Deputy Chief secretaries have offices because, have offices in relation to Deputy Chief Secretary. I believe that you had to be a secretary of a division to have an office. But he's not the secretary of any division. He has been given the mantle of, expanding awareness, as I said before, getting the government to see what Tobago wants and so on. And I imagine he needs an office in Tobago as well for the, the prosecution of his functions.
Okay, Mr. James. Let me ask the question here with regards to one of the points that that the chief secretary mentioned after the retreat. By the end of the first quarter, in fact, quite recently, we saw where the price of flour was increased. There was a time many years ago when Tobago was the bread basket, was the provided food for the island and the Trinidad and persons around the region. The chief secretary mentioned that by the end of the first quarter, that Tobago would be on its way to becoming the #1 producer of alternative flour in the Caribbean, not between Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean. Let's get some of your thoughts on that.
Well, I didn't actually hear it, so I don't know how he developed the point, but I believe his agenda is, interesting and probably laudable. Yes, you're talking of being the bread basket for alternative flour. Well, I think he should pursue that. It sounds exciting to me. What do you think they do in Trinidad and Tobago? They have a company called NFM, right on Wrightson Road, right? And they buy flour, and then they parcel it out, and so on. You see anything hard in that? Tobago can do the same thing. In fact, there is no arm of NFM in Tobago, is there? There's no arm of NFM. We take prices that come from Trinidad. The prices are marked up in Trinidad. The goods come from abroad. They're in Trinidad. There's an NFM company, and they mark up the things and they send it to Tobago. I mean, what kind of arrangement is that? So that is something that we have to pay attention to. And I am suggesting here that if we are going to stay with that on the national level, we probably should have a branch of NFM in Tobago, right? But the exciting thing that you just told me about, I wasn't quite aware of it. And I'm wondering if you can share with me now, if you can, what are we talking about when we speak of alternative flour? What did the chief secretary say he meant? We talking about cassava and dasheen
We're
and so
talking
on?
about cassava and dasheen.
Right. So
And
we are going to
other
have
ground
dasheen
provisions.
farms, cassava farms, and so on.
Yes.
In order to be the food basket of the Caribbean, it's got to be that. The biggest places in the Caribbean for food production, you know who they are, right? It's Guyana and Suriname. Those are the two, and they are continental providers. They are part of the continental Caribbean, of course. And they have the space to produce things like that are alternative to flour and other foods that we eat. So I don't know if the chief secretary will engage in conversations with the leaders of Guyana and Suriname on that matter, but it excites me to hear that he's thinking of Tobago becoming a food basket one more time. Of course, focused on something that is alternative to the flour that we import, that NFM imports into the country. I am excited by that, but I lack details.
Okay.
Dr. James, one of the other areas spoken to with the establishment of this office of the Deputy Chief Secretary out of Trinidad will also look broadly at what are some of the Tobago House of Assembly services available through Tobago, now being that kind of connect with Tobagonians who may be doing exceptionally well and operating within the Trinidad space, but may not always have that avenue to come to Tobago to get certain things done. Do you see this particular rule also being quite beneficial to some of those Tobagonians who are based in Trinidad and would want to access certain information and possible services coming out of the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary?
Well, I think in theory, again, that's another exciting idea, but I'm not so sure that they need to come to Tobago to access information. I mean, they can build an information highway, and people wherever they are, not only Trinidad, West Tobagonians, wherever they are, in the diaspora, the broad-based diaspora, of course, including the UK and the United States, should be able to access ways of doing business, the requirements of putting down, we're talking business here, right? The requirements of doing business in 2021, which means that you have to have information literacy. Of course, you have to have your procedures for setting up a business and sustaining it and so on. It seems to me that that's a good idea, but I don't know that they have to physically, there's a need to physically come to Tobago. What they need is a context and a situation that facilitates their involvement in the economy of Trinidad and of Tobago. And that's a good idea. Again, we don't have the kinds of detail that we probably need. We probably need somebody working on the digitization of information in the Deputy Chief Secretary's office. But we don't have those particulars, shall we say, spelled out just yet. But in theory, it's a staggering idea, yes, to get people now focused on what possibilities there are of doing business in Tobago, but accessing understandings and information and that kind of thing via the internet at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. James, for chatting with us. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but of course, it's always a pleasure. And from time to time, we will have you back on the program with us.
Well, once you keep time, right?
Yes. Definitely. Thank you again, Dr. James.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Have a good day, both of you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank
James.
you so much. You know, while Dr. James, while we spoke on the issue here, and I know we were a bit separate in terms of the issues that we raised with Dr. James concerning the Tobago, you know, coming up with alternative flour. Alexis says mango does railways in Tobago, so maybe looking at mango flour. I'm not sure how it's going to work according to her. Neither do I. But you know, it's a plan. If you feel for the mango taste in your bread or your cakes, the mango flavor,
you have an opportunity to have
it
blended in there this morning. Shout outs on the live to Laverne, Simon, I'm seeing Crystal joining us on the live as well. Tanisha, Chantel, Cupid. Tanisha is also a Youth Award winner 2021. Good morning, and thank you all for joining in on the live this morning. Folks, we go to the next segment, This Day in Tobago History with Devon Adana.
This Day in Tobago History. Did you know that on January 13, 2018, the headline read, Tobago wants to see Max? According to the Newsday paper online, 4 years ago today, the chairman of the Dr. Eric Williams Memorial Committee, Reginald Vidal, called on the state and family of Professor George Maxwell Richards to consider a public viewing of the late president's body in Tobago. Richards was Trinidad and Tobago's 4th president and died of a heart attack on the 10th of January 2018 at the West Shore Medical Center at the age of 86. A team was subsequently set up to plan a 3-day state funeral. His body lay in state at the Parliament Tower International Waterfront Complex, Port of Spain. His body was also transported at the head of a funeral procession through the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, and then his body was returned for public viewing at the National Academy for the Performing Arts in Port of Spain, where his funeral was to take place. However, Vidal complained that Tobagonians had been left out of the arrangements. He suggested that Richard's body be airlifted to the Shore Park Cultural Complex in Tobago, where Tobagonians could pay their final respects to the late head of state. Vidal said Richards had a special love for Tobago, and he was making a special request of the planners of the state funeral that Tobago be included. He loved Tobago and its people. He loved a good lime at Pigeon Point, and Tobago must not be excluded from the arrangements. He said, I must state that it must always be remembered that a president is president of the people he served and not the parliament. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. Back to you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you very
Devon
much,
Adana.
Devon.
Yes, well, viewers, lots more. Very quickly here, just before we wrap up with you guys, just on Tuesday we saw the celebration of life for Officer Isomia Taylor. I saw there was a lovely procession up Scarborough, all the way through Scarborough. And I was mentioning to someone, Julian, that it was a beautiful procession, yet sad to see her life gone so early. But what it reminded me of is, I know in the U.S., whenever a soldier, a police officer passes by, persons usually say, thank you for this, thank you for your service. I think we need to adopt the attitude of saying thank you to those persons who serve. I'm talking about police officers, fire officers, soldiers. They serve and they put their lives on the line every day. And I think joining the ranks of such persons would be doctors and nurses. Thank you for your service. Saying thank you. Yes, they're being paid, but they put their lives on the line every day, even more so now. And I want us, maybe today, you see a police officer, thank you for your service. You see a fire officer, a doctor, a nurse, a soldier, thank you for your service. You know, let's change the way we see them. Let's change the way we appreciate them. Let's not wait until they pass on to do all the glam. And I'm not saying that's what happened in this case. Yeah. I'm just saying here, let's change how we see them and how we treat them.
And I think that's definitely important because we operate within a space. Yes, we also want you all to be less corrupt, but we operate within a space where the few bad apples, so we get bad service from an individual, you know, or two within the medical sector, or a police officer that has absolutely no manners, and we want to define all.
That's right.
So it's really important for us that not to be the case. And I always remember particularly conversations with Officer Sibra, and everybody knows him in terms of traffic. The man is dynamic. The man knows how to do his job and at the same time engage with people and to talk to people. And I want to say that could really go far for a lot of persons in the service industry. And we really want to encourage as much as possible, as Rhea said, well, let's try the reverse now. We're going to shout them out and encourage them positively. And let's look forward to that same kind of positive response as we say thank you for your service. Thank you for continuing to protect and serve. Thank you for continuing to save lives. Very important. Folks, tomorrow morning, we're excited. We're excited. Where are we heading to tomorrow morning?
We are heading to East Tobago, Speyside, Indian Bay. So we encourage you viewers to check us out tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow's show. Yeah, we've got a little walking to do, but thankfully a long bit of sitting.
So you can certainly look forward to breakfast tomorrow morning with Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, and we'll be coming to you live from Speyside. So I'm looking forward, as most of my friends would know, I'm looking forward to the beautiful countryside, to really enjoying the beautiful countryside tomorrow. I'm excited about that, and Rhea is excited about being able to leave home at 6 a.m. in order to be here on time. Oh, sorry, to be in Speyside on time.
That's right, that's right. I'm going to have a long morning, very, very long. I'm not getting out of bed too early. That's going to be so good.
All right, and I see Oswald George smiling as well. Yes, sir, have no fear. She'll be there.
Viewers, thank you. You're going to see Julian in the shorts tomorrow.
And I see Katie Robinson. Katie, yes, I'm going to be in the East tomorrow, so we're connecting. We're lining up on that end.
That's right, and it's all about food, food, and more food. So viewers, have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance.
Bye-bye. Hey, so you see how the thing goes? How the thing goes? You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get it, you the wrong, get a coffee drink with a drop cup. Hey. So you see how the thing goes? How the thing goes? You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get it, you the wrong, get a coffee drink with a drop cup. Hey, so you see how the thing goes? How the thing goes? You want to bamba? You wanna G with the big boys? Now you the wrong, get it, you the wrong, get a coffee drink with a drop cup. Hey. So you see how the thing goes? How the thing